the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network, as tonight we are here with the Next Gen Racing Series as they go back old school style to Watkins, Glen for 40 laps of spectacular racing for tonight's Joey Scungio Memorial at presented by K2U Southside. And I'll tell you what, I don't know a whole lot about this K2U Southside or Joey Scungio, but I do know someone who does, and that is the man in the booth here with me right now. That is none other than Rick Greenway. Rick, how you doing tonight?
I'm good, K.R. How about yourself, buddy?
Man, I tell you what, I'm about ready to talk about some racing, about ready to talk about some road course racing, and man, I'm looking forward to it. But before we get all that underway, tell us a little bit about tonight's race and what this means.
Well, tonight's race, it's a memorial for my best friend who died when we were in our 20s. He suffered from a medical condition called transverse aortic disease. Well, basically, his heart was upside down and backwards. And he passed away. And K2U Southside was a local bar that me and him used to go to together. That was kind of just our thing. So it's no longer in business, actually, but just my best friend. He was actually my NASCAR partner. We went to races together, and this was one of the tracks that was on our bucket list that we never were able to go to. So I kind of figured it was an appropriate race to sponsor in memory of him.
Well, it is a bucket list item for several NASCAR fans, and here you are getting to have it in virtual world. So real quick, while we have you here, give us a short little story about Joey.
There's just so many, but the best one that comes to my head is it was 4 of us together, and we were going to go shoot pool. And so we were pulling the driveway, and he said, "Let's race." And so he took off in his car, I took off in my car, and there's a dirt road that you could turn down. And I saw him going down the regular road. So me being a genius that I am, I went down the dirt road doing about 65 and put my car into a tree.
Are we going to see a repeat of that here tonight at Watkins Glen?
Oh, I'll be in the dirt. That is a guarantee. And I will probably hit something.
All right, man. Well, good luck to you here tonight. Thank you very much for, first of all, sharing a story with you and your best friend, Joey. And, go out there, have fun, and just enjoy this virtual Watkins Glen bucket list item.
Yeah, I'm going to. And I want to thank you, KR. You've been a friend to a lot of us for a long time and been broadcasting our races. And I just want to say, it's great talking to you again. It's been a while.
It has been a while, and I look forward to each and every time I get to talk to you specifically, Rick.
Well, thanks, bud. You have a good race tonight and have some fun out there.
You too, man, and enjoy your time. 40 laps here at Watkins Glen. Tonight's race is being brought in part by Rick Greenaway. But we do have, the final few minutes here before we get into qualifying. And right now, nobody seems to be out on the track. Everyone getting that stern lecture in the driver's meeting. So while we have just a bit of time, we are going to step away here and for a quick little commercial break. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as qualifying is getting underway. The 151 of Rick Greenaway making it onto the speedway here as he is on his outlap here at Watkins Glen. The configuration for this race here tonight will not include the boot. This is the classic NASCAR track, as Rick Greenaway already trying to recreate the short story that he gave us as he goes off track there, but gets it back on. I'll tell you what, that 151 machine, those numbers look spectacular. I think that is some of the best looking gold numbers I have seen in a long time. So the 151, we will keep our eyes out on that one here tonight. Another car we're gonna take a look at, that is the 43 of Mitchell Snare. Mitchell was one of our fast drivers here in practice before the race. Steve Baker, Chris Mefford up there as well. The Mitchell of those three, the first one out onto the track. So we're going to see where this 43 is going to post up his qualifying time. Drivers have 10 minutes to do 2 laps. So as the 43 takes the green flag for his first timed lap, Mitchell Snare, one of the younger drivers in this group. Don't let that fool you. This young kid can wheel a 1987 stock car. As he gets onto this straightaway heading into the bus stop, see the front end of that thing dive down as he gets hard on the brakes. And it's a quick right, left, right. Left, right. Sorry, I was marching there for a second, but man, he gets through that bus stop quick. So the 43 trying to put down a very fast lap time. The 93 of Jason Gardner out on track as well. So Gardner working through the carousel. Ford Thunderbird sends it off into the final 2 corners here at Watkins Glen. So Gardner onto this front stretch as he tries to pick up the throttle and get back after it. The 55 of Steve Baker laying down the first, or I should say the fastest lap so far, as Baker finds himself with a 1:15.960. Right now, he is holding on to the pole position. Right behind him, Troy Radford in the 94 with a 1:16.37. Mitchell Snare coming in third place. But Baker in the 55 machine puts in a lot of time here on these road courses, and heavy favorite to win here tonight. But Troy Radford and Mitchell Snare not going to let him get away with this one too easy. Gordon Larson Jr. in the 01 machine. Larson on his first time lap. As the 01 goes through the bus stop, wheel hopping over those curbs. I'll tell you what, driving these stock cars here at Watkins Glen, it is actually a lot of fun. You are up on the wheel, and you have got to manhandle this car. To an extent, you also got to be extremely patient with it and wait a very long time to roll into the throttle, as that 01 was smoking the tires through that corner right there. But Gordon Larson onto the front stretch. We're going to see where Larson is going to post up as he makes his way across the start-finish line. And Gordon Larson going to move into 8th place in his 01 machine. He is going to shut it down. Dustin German in the 52 out on the speedway. Well, while we have a moment, let's see if we can't get a word in with a fellow driver who's already done qualifying. That is the driver of the 43 machine. That is none other than Mitchell Snare. Mitchell, you got your ears on, bud?
Yes, sir.
Well, I am told that you have a special paint scheme here tonight. So as you're sitting on pit lane, I was wondering if you could show it off to us here tonight.
For sure. Miss Haney, Dale Osmond's grandma, is not doing very well. She's in the hospital. Just had a heart procedure. So all of my thoughts and prayers are going towards her and everybody over there. And just thought I could make a special paint scheme.
All right. Well, you made the special paint scheme?
Yes, sir.
Well, what is on it here that lets everyone know what how you're trying to support Miss Haney?
Well, on the ribbon on the front, there's Heart Warrior, which she uses a lot, calls herself a lot, a Heart Warrior.
Well, I got you. All right, man. Well, right now you're finding yourself 4th place in qualifying. What's it going to take to win here tonight and put this Heart Warrior hood in victory lane?
I think just staying in it, staying alive, not wrecking, just being consistent and waiting for my chance.
All right, man. Well, I want to wish you good luck out here tonight, and thanks for taking a moment to talk to us about your paint scheme.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That is the young Mitchell Snare, right now sitting up 4th in qualifying, giving us a quick word. We're going to check in on a few other drivers out on the speedway. That is the 98 of Thomas Light. Thomas Light on his first time lap. As we are rolling in, we are almost through with qualifying. So I guess I should probably step away and play our national anthems, as we do have both the United States and Canada being represented here tonight. So please join me in honoring both countries. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the drivers start to take to the grid for tonight's Joey Scungio Memorial by K2U Southside. In part, Rick Greenaway helping out tonight in this race. So let's get right into our starting lineup for this one. On the inside of row number 1, the 55 of Steve Baker. On his outside, that's the 94 of Troy Radford. Row number 2 going to be made up of Chris Mefford in the 44, and then the 43 of Mitchell Snares, sporting that Miss Haney ribbon, Heart Warrior on the hood. Eric Blount and Brian Littleton going to make up row number 3. Row number 4 going to be Jason Gardner in the 93 machine, Gordon Larson in the 01. Starting on the outside of row number 4. Brian Miskell Jr. in the 33 machine. Brian Beach in the 18, gonna be on the outside of row number 5. Row number 6, Bruce Pearson in the 25 machine. And then it is Brandon Mefford in the 83 on his outside. Row number 7 will be the 52 of Dustin German. And then Thomas Light in the 98 machine right to his left-hand side. Row number 8, David Cox in the 19, and the 57 of Damon Cox as they make up row number 8. Row number 9 will be Tim Woodson in the 40 machine, then Melvin Young in the 10. Row number 10, Todd Willis in the 14, and Tim Lee in the 22 machine on his outside. Justin Walters in the 46, Doug Wysocki on the outside of row number 11. Melvin Young in the 10, one of the last few to roll through turn number 1. We did have a few drivers not make it to the grid. Justin Walters, Ray Radford, and Dave Worrell all missing the call to the grid here. As the field gets single file to go through the bus stop, your race pole sitter, I should say, is the 55 of Steve Baker. Troy Radford in the 94 right there, going to be all over the back bumper. Mitchell Snare, Chris Mefford, those 4 drivers all turning very quick times here in qualifying. As the field gets formed up, we get ready to send them off on the green of flag and start this race. 40 laps here tonight. Pace car gonna peel off here. And Steve Baker gonna try and lead them all into turn 1, but no guarantees when the green flag flies, as here we go. This one is underway. And Baker has the advantage for the moment going into turn number 1. Troy Radford going to try and slot in right behind him as everyone looking for a clean entry through 1. We got cars several deep here. It's the 83 of Brandon Mefford following behind the 18 and the 52. Everyone trying to go up the S's as fast as they can for the first time here in this one. Tim Woodson is gone and plowed himself into a situation. There are going to be no yellows. Let's see what happened to the 40 of Tim Woodson. Woodson goes off into turn number 1 here. Locks it up, gets sideways. Is going to smack the inside wall there. And another one, Tim Lee in the 22. Looks like he's found some trouble as he heads into the bus stop. The 22 going to go for a quick spin there. So the opening lap already having some very exciting stuff as Steve Baker Troy Radford, Chris Mefford, and Mitchell Snare, your top four as Baker crosses the start-finish line. So Steve Baker, your race leader, and he has got that 55 machine hung out sideways. Right on the limit. Tires are nice and fresh. He's digging hard on them while he's got this opportunity to do so. Justin Walters has made it out onto the speedway. The 46 machine is already scored one lap down. The 43 of Mitchell Snare all over the back bumper of the 44 of Chris Mefford. Mefford came into tonight as the points leader. Eric Blount in the 6 machine came into tonight sitting second place in the point standings, only 10 points off the race, off the championship lead, but it is a 3-way tie for second place. Eric Blount, Troy Radford, and Mitchell Snare all tied for second place here, and they're all running inside the top 5. Steve Baker making his first appearance here in this series tonight at Watkins Glen. He is acting like he is going to try and make up for lost time and try and win this one, as he is now set the fastest lap of the race, a 1:16.77. We'll see if that's going to be the fastest one here throughout the rest of this race, or if they're going to find a way to go even faster. Let's see what we got here in the 83 machine. Looks like Brandon Mefford maybe going to tag the wall, goes for a spin, and the 98 of Thomas Light going to smack into him. No cautions here, so everyone's still going to have to find a way to keep going. The 83 and then the 57 of Damon Cox going to come in. And that was a hard hit on the 57 of Damon Cox, as it looks like he is going to have a damaged engine on that one. So tough break for Damon Cox. Brandon Mefford has pulled it onto pit road. Extensive damage on that one, and Steve Baker is just pulling away. As I guess I should probably show the graphics. Listen, I still have never figured out what I'm doing. So the 55 of Baker, your race leader, he is now opened up a 4-second lead over second place, the 94 of Troy Radford. Both Brandon Mefford and Damon Cox have pulled it onto pit lane, and they are being serviced by their crew. We'll see if they can make it back out there, or if they are going to have to call it a night. Damage quite heavy on these two. As we look at our race info for tonight's race, quick road course beginner's guide. Remember to brake early, brake often. These cars especially, there's not a lot of stopping power on these brakes. You really got to take your time and plan ahead when you jump on those binders. Don't overdrive the corner entry. As I have said, there are no fast repairs or cautions. Everyone is out there with what they got, and you've got to take care of it. There's a 43 of Mitchell Snare sitting in a 4th place. The 6 of Eric Blount going to round out your top 5. And Blount working his way through the carousel. Right behind him is Jason Gardner. Gardner has moved up a spot since the start of this race. Brian Littleton right behind him. Those two have just kind of swapped positions, and Littleton in the 80 machine just on cruise control here, looking for a nice little spot to ride and log some laps. Right behind Brian Littleton, that is Brian the Missile Miskell Jr. in the 33, as he's going to get by the 80 here. It's Littleton. A little bit of a kerfuffle going through turn, that's 10. With the boot. This is not the boot. Without the boot. Good grief. Gordon Larson in the 0-1. Sitting in 9th as the 18 of Brian Beach. Hard on the brakes. I thought for sure the 18 was going to get into the back of the 0-1. And so that makes up your top 10. As the 40 machine of Tim Woodson falls a lap to this group of drivers as well. Woodson right now in that 40 machine, finding himself in a 24th spot. And we saw Tim go for a spin on turn 1 at the start of this race. A little bit of a fender bender. He's been on and off of pit road since then. We do have Todd Willis, Gary Ragland coming onto pit lane here. They are making stops. It looks like we have an issue here with a driver in second place. That is the 94, Troy Radford. As Radford, from second place, smacks it into the wall nose first. He has fallen to 6th place here as he gets rolling in that 94 machine. The one driver not having a problem, that is your race leader, 55, is Steve Baker. Baker trying to roll through that bus stop without any issues. He now enjoys a 9-second lead over second place Chris Mefford. So we saw Radford go for that little spin and nose first into the wall. The damage on that car, we'll have to keep an eye on it and see if he pulls onto pit road this time by. And since he didn't make a stop on the pit road as he came down the front stretch last time, may try and ride this out a few laps before he hits pit lane to hammer out the damage. And so now the 94 onto the front stretch, and it looks like he's going to continue to ride around out there and not hit pit lane. So Baker in the 55, your race leader. He's already put Melvin Young, Tim Woodson, Todd Willis, Gary Ragland, and Brandon Mefford a lap down. Now include, well, Todd Willis in the 14 going another lap down. So as the 55 of Baker has really opened up the taps. Check in on a few of our other close battles here. Our Canadian driver, Derek Robinson, in the 58 machine. On the back bumper of the 52 of Dustin German. Robinson has moved up 11 positions here in these first 8 laps. As he works his way through turn number 1, trying to close in on the back bumper of Dustin German. Our biggest mover so far in this race, that is the 48 of Joshua Spalding. The 48 machine now working through the carousel here. Gets the power down, a little bit of a wiggle, but keeps it in check. In fact, a little bit of a wiggle on these cars. Well, that's nothing because they wiggle all the way down the straightaway. Is Brian Beach in the 18 going to try and come back on track? Take a look and see what happened to the 18 of Brian Beach. Overcooks it into the corner, into the sand trap, but keeps his foot in it. Holds on to it. Rick Greenaway in the 151. Gonna have a problem here, I am told. Heads into the final corner and really overdrives it hard into the left front there on the body and gets it rolling, keeps going. So Rick Greenaway in the 151 machine is back in the tires in the final corner. So is Brian Beach in the 18, now under attack by the 48 of Spalding. Spalding going to take a peek to the inside. Dustin German in the 52 having a little bit of connection issues there. Thought maybe he had crashed out, but no, just dropping internet connection. So Dustin German maybe having some issues, might get that sorted out. Was the 10 lap completion point here. 1/4 of this race done and over with. Steve Baker still your race leader. Baker now out to 11.75 second lead. Not showing any signs of stopping or slowing down. Baker continues to pull away. Mitchell Snare in the 43 sitting in third. He finds himself 2.5 seconds behind second place Chris Mefford. As he works his way around the lap machine. Chris Mefford in the 44. It's into the final 2 corners here. Your points leader now sitting in second place in the race. Looking to expand his points lead after this one if he can bring this car home where he currently sits. Brian Beach, Brian Littleton. A little bit of a battle here for a position inside the top 10. Right now, the 80 of a Littleton holding on to 10th spot. Brian Beach in the 18 trying to take it away from him. Up through the S's, the 18. A little bit of a wiggle there, washing out, but keeps it in check. Brian Littleton on the straightaway. Beach tracking in his tire marks. Trying to use the draft to close in on that long uphill S's and then into the bus stop. If you can really get your momentum started through the S's, you can carry a lot of speed into the bus stop. Make up a lot of time in that stretch of track. '19 of David Cox looks like he's found a little bit of trouble. Let's see what happened in the 19 machine as Cox goes off track here, tries to gather it back in. Almost pulling off a Rick Greenaway there, but keeps it in his wheelhouse. So David Cox in a 19th spot. Has a pack of cars closing in very quickly on him. That is the 33 of Brian Miskell. Gordon Larson in the 01 and Josh Spalding in the 48. As Cox is going to just go through the bus stop, the short runoff area there. Allows the 3 cars on the lead lap to make it right on by him. So a very close battle here. Miskell in 7th, Gordon Larson 8th, and Joshua Spalding 9th. 151 of Rick Greenaway finding another problem here out on this Watkins Glen track. He is going to nose into that Armco barrier. and then pulls it off of the racetrack onto pit road. So Steve Baker in the 55, now enjoying a 14.7 second lead. He is just pulling away. His best lap is a 1:16.77, fastest lap of the race. Last time around, he did a 1:19.31. So the tires are starting to fall off just a little bit. Drivers do have 3 total sets of tires. They started on their first set, so that means we could see them hit pit road for 2 sets of tires. But here in these 1987 Cup cars, the pit stops on these things are quite a while. Mefford would have to pull out, I would say, about a 28-second lead or so before he could pull on to pit road and not lose a spot. Right now, he's just sitting at a 14.3, so not quite enough. He has not put a big enough gap on Chris Mefford. I do believe everyone's going to have to make their way down pit road at some point here tonight. 75% was our fuel load. And with the tires falling off a little bit, you can be sure that someone somewhere is going to try and get themselves maybe a little bit of a short pit, do something, try and change up the strategy. But I don't want to try and speak for the drivers out here and talks of strategy. I ain't got time for that. Plus, I don't know a whole lot of strategy. I just go out, hold my foot to the floor as long as I can, and end up crashing most of the time. So as Chris Mefford, your second place driver, closes in on the 34 of Doug Wysocki. Wysocki finding himself in 16th place here tonight. He has moved up 6 positions since the start of this race. So the Michigan native moving over, letting second place Chris Mefford squirt on by down the front stretch. The 34 going to make his way up the S's and going to carry us on board for this one. This is always my favorite part of the track. Coming up the S's, trying to hold your foot down. Got to be brave here because the car gets real light when you go to the left-hand turns here through the S's. Then it settles back down just a little bit for the right-hand turn, and then the long run here to the bus stop. Jump on the binders, get it slowed down just enough to make the quick right, left, right combo. That is one of my favorite portions of Watkins Glen here. Take a look at what happened to the 40 of Tim Woodson. Another off track here. A lot of drivers liking to go off track at this corner. Woodson trying to gather it back in, spinning the tires at the back. Gets it rolling, that 40 machine. Up to speed here, or trying to get up to speed. Into turn number 1 is going to be Tim Woodson in the 40. And away we go once again. Baker working his way around Derek Robinson. Robinson in 13th spot. Going to go 1 lap down. As I take a quick scan, looking at some more of our close battles, the 33 of Brian Miskell almost missing the bus stop there. He was in a close battle with Gordon Larson. until he seemed to get on the brakes and lock them up going into the bus stop. He gathered it back in before he hit anything, though, so the 33 lives on to fight another day. Joshua Spalding in the 48 has worked his way around Gordon Larson and Brian Miskell. Let's see if we can take a look at how the 48 got around the 01 going into the bus stop. Joshua Spalding able to squeeze by Larson and set sail into the carousel, holding on to his newly gained 7th position. Now that Spalding has cleared those two, he has really opened up a gap on them. In fact, he has a 2.5 second gap over Gordon Larson already. So the 48 up 17 positions since the drop of the green flag. We are past the halfway point here on this one. Laps are starting to wind down. '55 of Steve Baker, your race leader, has led every single lap, and he is now almost an 18-second lead over Chris Medford. Brian Beach in the 18, just ahead of Steve Baker. Beach finding himself in 17th spot. Beach already 1 lap down, looking to go a 2nd lap down here. Big old knot of cars as they head into the final 2 corners of the track. That is Eric Blount in the 6, finding himself in 6th place here. Joshua Spalding in the 48, closing in on him. Blount just being passed by Troy Radford. Radford made the pass on Eric Blount for 5th spot. We saw Troy lose it from a 2nd place, and the 94 has been trying to work his way forward once again. You see the 6 of Eric Blount overshot turn number 1. That is how the 94 Troy Radford was able to put his car back into 5th place. So the 6 of Blount giving chase. He'd love to have that spot back. And Troy Radford, another driver who would like to have a couple spots back. I'm sure that 94 machine, the nose on that thing a little crinkled, but not too bad. Have not talked a lot about the 93 of Jason Gardner, but let's go ahead and take this moment to talk about the driver in a 4th spot. He's gained 3 positions since the drop of the green flag. Last time by, he did a 1:21.306. His best lap of this race, 1:18.335. So capable of laying down some quick lap times. The 93 gonna roar across the start-finish line. Tire wear really starting to be an issue here, as the lap times have fallen almost 4 seconds off of everyone's best lap time. So far, no one has ventured onto pit road, and as I say that, the 48 of Joshua Spalding has just pulled onto pit lane. The 48 looks like a 4-tire stop for the 48 machine. He is one of our first drivers to hit pit lane. He is pitting from inside the top 10. So we will have to keep an eye on the 48. Here comes the 55 of Steve Baker, your race leader, pulling onto pit road. So pit stops well and truly underway when the leader of the race is going to come on to pit lane. So Steve Baker heads slowly to his pit stall. Chris Mefford in the 44, not pitting this time. So Chris Mefford going to take over the race lead. For the first time tonight, we do have a new leader. Mitchell Snare pulls on to pit lane. Jason Gardner, Eric Blount, Troy Radford. So everyone hitting pit road. Chris Mefford going to brave it out as everyone else hits pit lane. We'll see how this plays out for him, but Les Mefford trying to stretch this one all the way. He could be caught out here. Steve Baker down and away from his pit stop. He works his way up through the S's. Those 4 fresh tires are going to close in very fast on to Mefford. Mefford is about 14 seconds ahead. But that is going to be wiped away when he comes down pit road. Spalding in the 48. We saw he was one of the first ones on the pit lane. He's going to make his way around Troy Radford and Eric Blount. Put Joshua Spalding into 5th spot. 2 more positions gained by the 48 machine. Spalding making very quick work on pit road, helping put himself into the top 5, so a solid stop by him and his crew as he works around the 40 of Tim Woodson. Troy Radford around him as well as the 14. Oh my goodness, up and over goes the 14 machine. Todd Willis on his lid, and that was very close. That one almost caught. That was a wild one as it almost caught Joshua Spalding. Take one more look at this one. Tough break for Todd Willis in the 14 machine, but man, did Joshua Spalding get away with one there. As the 44, Chris Mefford, going to pull onto pit road. Your race leader hitting pit lane, and that is going to give the lead to Steve Baker in the 55 as he flashes by. So Baker once again to the front of this field. Mitchell Snare in the 43. Right now sitting in 3rd. But this is going to be a very close one with the 43 and the 44. So here we go. Mitchell Snare on the front stretch, and it looks like he is going to be able to get by Chris Mefford. Maybe this is going to be close. Mefford on pit exit. Mitchell Snare into turn number 1. And Mefford going to blend into traffic just ahead of the 43, but Mitchell on warmer tires. Those things are up to full temp. He's able to take full advantage of them. The 44 Mefford. And I have to baby them just a little bit here as they gain temperature. Snare is right there. We're going to have a battle for second place into the bus stop. The 43 now trying to make it 3 wide. Thought about it for a minute. Stays tucked in behind the 44. And Mitchell trying to work over the 44 Chris Mefford as they head into the final 2 corners The 43 gonna fall back just a little bit here. As Chris Medford gets his tires up to temp, he might be able to set sail here, but don't count out this 43 just yet. So Medford, after making his pit stop, now finds himself 34 and maybe even 35 seconds off the race lead. We have an issue here with Gordon Larson in the 0-1. Larson on the brakes, touches the grass. He's going to set himself for a spin cycle. In the final corner, Brian Miskell going to shoot on by. But the damage looks light on the 0-1. He's able to get rolling once again. So with 16 laps to go, Steve Baker out to a 35-second lead. An unbelievable 35-second lead. This 55 machine. Someone needs to claim this engine. Someone needs to check them tires. They are using illegal tire dope. That engine is outside the specifications for cubic inch. Or this 55 has just really been able to lay down very consistent laps, very quick laps. And I think that's more the case here tonight. Steve Baker just really got a taste for road course racing a while back and has just found himself enjoying them as much as he can. And it's really showing through here tonight. Your race leader, this 55, 36 seconds out in front. He is coming up on the 88 machine. Daryl Ricketts, teammate here to the 55 of Baker. Ricketts moves over Baker to the inside into turn number 1 with 15 laps to go. This race winding down very quickly. Jason Gardner in the 93, sitting in 4th spot. Gardner gaining 3 positions since the drop of the green, a flag. And Gardner finds himself 3.5 seconds ahead of this guy, the 48 of Joshua Spalding. Spalding has been the one that has continued to march forward in this race. That 48 machine has gained 19 positions since the start of the race. Best lap, a 1:17.174. This time by, he did a 1:18.583. So Spalding in the 48, heading for the final 2 corners. Troy Radford right behind him trying to give chase. Radford went for a spin up from second place as 94 locks him up just a little bit. The Lucky Finn project holding on. Down to the inside of the 98 of Thomas Light. Light finding himself 1 lap down. So Baker in the 55 machine onto the front stretch. We now got 13 laps to go. Chris Mefford in second. Third place going to Mitchell Snare. Jason Gardner 5th. Joshua Spalding. Sorry, Gardner is 4th. Joshua Spalding rounding out your top 5. And it would seem that a 33.5 second lead for Steve Baker could be as far as he pulls out. Chris Mefford, last time by, was a little bit faster than Baker. That is a lot of time to make up in 13 laps. The 55 of Baker just has to bring it home at this point. Doesn't want to overdrive anything. Doesn't want to take too many chances. Could put it on cruise control from here to bring this one home. Anything can happen. That's why you run all the laps. You don't just go out and run some of them until, well, that guy's too far gone. We'll never catch him. You may think that, but man, you always got to run it out as hard as you can because anything can happen in the racing world. Spalding in the 48, making his way through the bus stop. Justin Walters in the 46, started from pit lane. Walters pulling on to the pit lane once again. His 46 machine going to be serviced by his crew. So Walters making his pit stop. Doug Wysocki in the 34, going uphill through the S's. Long run into the bus stop right behind him. That is second place driver, the 44 of Chris Mefford. So I take a quick scan down our timing and scoring. One of our closer battles here is the 40 of Tim Woodson and the 14 of Todd Willis. Todd Willis, after flipping, coming out of the carousel, that car torn up. I mean, that is tore up from the floor up. And he is out there throwing sparks, trying to hang tough. Todd Willis right now in 19th spot. He is determined to bring this one home. So Willis, about 4 laps down, 5 laps down. Man, you got to love a guy who just doesn't want to quit. And that right here, that would be the 14 of Todd Willis after tumbling out of the carousel. Still in this thing, still rolling, still getting after it. There's a little bit of clean track ahead for the 55 of Steve Baker. So he is going to cross the start-finish line, and we're going to have 10 more laps to go. Baker has lapped all the way up to 11th spot. That is the 25 of Bruce Pearson. He is the first car 1 lap down. But Brian Littleton about to go a lap down, and Bruce Pearson qualified in 11th spot, and here he is still sitting in 11th place. Pearson's best lap of the race here tonight, a 1:20.03, a very respectable lap time by the 25 machine, finding himself right here in 11th place. So a solid effort by the 25 of Pearson. Brian Littleton does have almost a 50-second gap. Brian Littleton in the 80 machine, car in 10th spot. Littleton has fallen back a little bit this race, as he finds himself losing 4 positions from where he qualified. He is the last car on the lead lap. You can't see that 55 of Steve Baker closing in as we go on board with Brian Littleton. Baker just able to get into these corners, carry a little bit more speed through these straightaways. That is a big part. Able to hit the corners, not overdrive them so that you can roll into the throttle sooner and have all that speed, all that momentum down the straightaways. The 94 of Troy Radford going to lose a spot to the 6 of Eric Blount. Let's see what happened to the 94. Radford going to get up off the grass, smacks the wall with the right side, gathers it back in. A big hold your breath moment for the 94 machine, but it does allow the 6 of Eric Blount to squeeze on by. So Troy Radford finding himself in 7th place here, locks him up going into turn number 1. A little bit of lockup never hurt nobody. Get that smell of rubber in your nostrils. Let you know that you were out at the racetrack. So Baker has made his way around Brian Littleton and Brian Miskell Jr. as these two now have a battle here for 9th spot. Miskell holding on to it for the moment. Littleton has been closing in on him. Jason Gardner now starting to feel the pressure from the 48 of Joshua Spalding. Gardner in 4th, Spalding in 5th. Gardner taking turn 1 way wide there. Has to wrestle it back onto the track before getting into the grass. That allows the 48 of Spalding to get to his back bumper. Spalding all over him. Not a lot of room to make a pass here in the S's. Spalding going to have to try and carry his momentum onto the straightaway here. Gardner looking to throw a block. Oh, Gardner messes up the exit out of the bus stop. That's going to allow Spalding to get to the inside in the carousel. And the 48 of Joshua Spalding going to put the power down and pull out a move to put himself into 4th place. Gardner falls back to 5th. What a solid effort by the 48 of Joshua Spalding, up 20 positions now. Gardner still holding on to a top 5 run here. He has a 12.5 second gap back to 6th place Eric Blount in the 6 machine. Let's see what happens to the 98 here. This is Thomas Light again. Turn 10, catching these guys out. So he gets sideways in the grass. Going to collect the 61 there of Gary Ragland. So Thomas Light in the 98. Big moment for him. Gathers it back up though and gets rolling. A lot of cars right there in that little kerfuffle, if you will. Baker putting the 40 machine another lap down. Working his way up through the S's, 6 laps to go. This race winding down very quickly. As Baker on the back bumper of Thomas Light. Light going another lap down. The 57 of Damon Cox just ahead of our race leader. Damon Cox, after spending a lot of time on pit road, we saw him get into trouble with Brandon Mefford in the opening stages of this race, and the 57 has rejoined the race. Damon Cox about ready to start lap number 8. So talk about commitment. This race is on lap 34, now make it lap 35. Damon Cox just now starting lap number 8. He wants to see this one through. Man, I got to tell you, I love seeing a driver who tries to see each and every race through. So Cox looking to make something happen here. He might have a shot. In fact, I think he does. He might be able to pick up 2 positions. He might be able to end up 23rd. Rick Greenaway appears to be out of this race. Dustin German out of the race as Damon Cox has just made the pass on Dustin German. As German and Greenaway are out of this one. So Cox, like I said, never give up. You never know what's going to happen. He's going to gain 2 positions. Every little bit helps in the points. Damon Cox came into this battle 7th place in the point standings. So 2 more spots could be the difference between walking away with a top 5 finish this season or not. You never know. Cox even might be able to rally and come from a win. This could be his rallying cry. 4 laps to go now for the 55 of Steve Baker, out to a 34.8 second lead. Chris Mefford in second, Mitchell Snare in third. These two have never been too far apart, but Mefford has not allowed Mitchell Snare to get this close to him in a while. So battle starting to heat up for second place. Spalding, who sits in fourth, 7 seconds behind the 43 of Mitchell Snare. As you can see, Mefford and Snare went into the bus stop in that shot as they make their way through. Jason Gardner, about 4.3 seconds behind Spalding. Gardner sitting in 5th place. Good run shaping up for the 93 machine. It's Eric Blount in the 6 machine as he makes his way into the bus stop. Eric Blount is a total of 35 seconds off the race lead. No, I'm sorry. That is a minute. I can do math. Leave me alone. That is a minute off the race lead from 6th place. Right behind him, that is the 94, Troy Radford. Radford making his way through the carousel, and Troy having one of those races he would like to have back. A 94 machine looking a little bit beat up, but it is still out there, still chugging along. In fact, he is the last car on the lead lap right now. Baker coming around to try and put Troy Radford in the 94. 1 lap down. Radford came into tonight tied with 2nd place in the point standings. Eric Blount, Mitchell Snare, Troy Radford, all tied for 2nd place. All of them chasing the points leader of Chris Mefford. So as the 55 gets 2 more laps to go. Just looking to bring this one home. 36-second lead over 2nd place Chris Mefford. Troy Radford moves off to the side. Going to allow the 55 of Steve Baker to get on through. Mitchell Snare still hounding Chris Mefford in the 44, but Mefford trying to withstand the storm. Snare closing in on him a little bit here. With 2 laps to go, you got to wonder, does Mitchell have something up his sleeve? Carrying the Heart Warrior for Miss Haney. Is Mitchell going to really close in on Mefford as he locked the brakes up heading into the bus stop? This one's getting good here late in the race. Thomas Light in the 98 moves out of the way as they're going to battle through the carousel. Steve Baker starting his final lap. As Mitchell Snare now on the back bumper of the 44 of Mefford. This one getting good. Both drivers going to take the white flag here. The battle for second place. Hot and heavy. A good 38 seconds behind our race leader. So as Baker already made it through the carousel, heading into the final 2 corners of 55 machine with an easy victory here in sight. Got 1 more corner to go. By easy victory, I mean he has put time in to his road course program, doing lap after lap, and the 55 gonna pull out the race win here tonight. Picks up his first victory in his first start here in the Next Gen Old School Series. We'll watch these 2 bring this one home. The battle for second place, the final 2 steps on the podium. Chris Mefford in the 44 holding on to second place. 1 more corner to go. Mitchell Snare digging hard, taking a peek to the inside, just not close enough. They're going to come off the final turn. And Chris Mefford gonna hold off Mitchell Snare. The 43 gonna finish in second. The 44 crossing the line in second place. Joshua Spalding gonna bring it home in 4th. Jason Gardner looking to bring this one home in 5th place. Gardner gonna cross the start finish line with a top 5 here at Watkins Glen. Then the final car on the lead lap, that is the 6th of Eric Blount. He is going to bring this one home in 6th place. So solid night of racing here in the Next Gen Old School Series. Your race winner is Steve Baker. Let's look at our results for this one. If I can hit the right button. There it is. Steve Baker, your race winner. Chris Mefford bringing it home in 2nd. Mitchell Snare 3rd. Joshua Spalding 4th. 5th place going to Jason Gardner. Eric Blount in 6th. Troy Radford finishing 7th. Gordon Larson 8th. 9th goes to Brian Littleton. Brian Miskell finishing in 10th. Bruce Pearson, Justin Walters, Derek Robinson, Thomas Light, Daryl Ricketts in 15th spot. Melvin Young 16th. 17th going to Doug Wysocki. Gary Ragland in 18th place. Hit the wrong button once again. Good. Todd Willis, Tim Woodson, David Cox, Brian Beach, Damon Cox, Rick Greenaway, Dustin German, Brandon Mefford, Tim Lee, Ray Radford finishing this one out here tonight. So as the 55 celebrates his race win on the front stretch, let's see about getting our race winner up into the broadcast booth for an interview. Steve Baker, that 55 machine, I don't know if anyone told you this, but the engine has been claimed and your tires are required front and center to the NASCAR trailer. Well, man, that 55 machine looked like it was on point from the drop of the green flag. Tell us a little bit about what it took to win this one here tonight.
And just love the road courses now. It's pretty much all I've been running the past several months on official side. So that's helped a lot. And yeah, a lot of fun. Love Watkins Glen.
Well, Watkins Glen, a very beautiful backdrop for what I believe is your first appearance in this series. You walk away with a win here tonight, man. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully we can make it out to some more. Hope to do as well on the oval side, but got some really good competition out there for sure.
All right, Steve. Well, man, you made this one look easy here tonight, but as I was saying in the earlier, just because it looks easy doesn't count for the hours and hours that go in to perfecting this. And man, solid effort by you putting it in victory lane.
Thank you so much, Kara.
Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Yeah, shout out to my teammates out there, Josh Spalding, Daryl Ricketts, Brian Beach, Dustin German. Shout out to Troy for putting on this league and everybody who runs it. It's, as you can tell, I mean, getting, I don't know, it was almost 30 cars out here for a road course, so that is a testament to this group of guys. And Autism Speaks on the Car, SRTV Network, and thanks to you and Turn 3 Network for the broadcast.
All right, man. Well, once again, congratulations. Nice job out there.
Thank you.
That is Steve Baker, your race winner. But now let's see about talking to our second place finisher, and that is none other than the driver in the 44 machine. That is Chris Mefford. Chris, you got your ears on, my friend?
They ain't lost them yet.
Oh, well, good news there. Well, you bring it home in second place, man. Solid effort by that 44 machine. Tell us a little bit about your race here tonight.
Well, I don't know who to congratulate more, Steve or Mitchell. Mitchell drove a stellar of a race. Kid's only 12 years old. I mean, you got to give hats off to that kid. He's his dad needs to get him something in this and on here just to compete against him. But no, Brian and Mitchell, they're good, dudes and kid. Mitchell's very respectful. Steve was gone. He was in his league of his own. But I hate it for Troy. Troy got an incident by himself, like lap 2 or 3. He'd been fast. He always is. But no, it was a fun race. I mean, mistake-free race. That's what it takes to be here, to finish top 5.
Yeah, definitely got to be a mistake-free race, and I think that 44 doesn't even look like it's got a scratch on it, man. So solid effort by you here tonight to put this one in second place. Any shout-outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Yeah, absolutely. First, I want to send prayers out to, I believe it's Katie's grandma. She's in the hospital. Hope she gets feeling well. I know she usually watches these races. So I want to send a prayer out that way. Congratulate Steve and send heck of a job in Mitchell. He had me sweating bullets there for sure. Shout out to my Falcon Motorsports teammates, Turn 3 Racing Network, Brucey Raceware, Race for Riley. Thank you, KR, for broadcasting. I know these ain't your most exciting races, but they sure are fun in the car. I know you've raced here many times, and they're very, very exhausting. Thanks to Rick for sponsoring the race. Just a good effort by everybody. I didn't really see a lot of people wrecking or anything like that. And there's a lot of give and take, a lot of respect tonight, and that's huge. So shout out to everybody in the league for that.
All right, man. Well, nice job once again, and congratulations on second place.
Thank you, Mr. Sophus.
That is Chris Mefford, driver of the 44, putting this one in the middle step of the podium. But now let's move on to the driver of the 43 machine, and that is none other than Mitchell Snare. And Mitchell is 43, final step of the podium, a hard-fought third place. Tell us about your race here tonight.
Well, man, I had a couple of crazy saves. I went off track. Didn't get a scratch on the car, which was my ultimate goal. And I somehow accidentally shifted to first in the bus stop, and I don't know how I saved it, but I did, and was able to keep going. It was getting real close there between me and Chris, but just a great race by everybody. Thank you to everybody that like Chris and for helping me out, notifying me when lap cars were coming. So, just a great race overall.
Well, man, that 43 machine carrying a special tribute tonight, and a solid effort propelling you here to third place. One more time, man, tell us a little bit about what's on the hood and the back bumper of your car.
Well, so Miss Haney is not doing very well, so I made a special paint scheme for her. She's very close to me. I love talking to her in the chat a lot of streams and stuff and different broadcasts. And I'm just glad that she was able to recover her heart surgery today. And glad I could get this Heart Warrior Chevrolet into the top 3.
All right, man. Well, again, nice job. Congratulations on a solid third place finish here at Watkins Glen, man. When we look forward to seeing you in the rest of the season. You're coming in tied before this race, second in the point standings, and now you're gonna have a clear-cut second place, I believe, if I can do my math quick enough.
That's awesome.
So, nice job, man. Congratulations once again on a solid effort, bringing it home in third place.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. That was a Mitchell Snare bringing it home, a third final step of the podium. A great race all around. As always, I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. Make sure you join us next week. Or I'm sorry, I think we're off next week. It'll be December 16th. We're off next week, December 16th, as we head to Talladega for the Rag Ride 75. And then we'll have our Christmas break. And then it will be January 6th for our second race coming up, the Southern 113 by Bundle of Joy Fun. Make sure you tune in for both of those. So until then, guys, I look forward to seeing y'all. Y'all stay safe and have a good night.